How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining me today. I thought I would bring in some new content for the channel and play Black Ops 6. I know it's different from the Magic videos that I normally play, but we still have around a month until a new standard set releases, so a little more than that actually. So I wanted to bring in some new content, something interesting. I've been playing Black Ops 6. I received it as a gift over the holidays, so I thought it would be a perfect thing to start showing for the channel and play. Today I'm going to be showing you guys what is, in my opinion, the best way to level up, gain XP for your weapon, and gain camos for your weapon all at the same time. There have been a lot of recent videos on going to Citadel and grinding on the new directed mode to get your camos and things. But there's a much easier way to do it that does require some setup, so I have on the edit loadout page here to kind of go over everything with you first. My selected weapon is one that I've basically not used at all. As you can see up at the top, it says I've gotten 39 kills with it total. I think I've got 25 headshots with it in Zombies from getting it from a box one time. So this is the weapon I'm going to be using and leveling up. I do have the cleaver. I'm going to be playing mostly melee for the first 30 or so rounds, but so for this method to work, there is some setup. Like I said, I do recommend running Aether Shroud, as it can be a really good, let's say, get out of jail free use card. You can use this to, if you're in danger, get the opportunity to kind of blink yourself out of it. And I'll go over my augments as well, but everything I have here is intentional. I recommend having a concussion grenade in Citadel, at least for this method. It's still something that I would probably recommend, even if you're going to be going for the Easter egg to complete the story for Citadel. But you could also go in with a shock charge if you're extremely opposed to getting the Deadwire augment on a weapon for getting the lightning rods. Since this method for gaining XP and camo and stuff doesn't require doing the electric sword at all, I'm not going to be worrying about Deadwire or getting a shock charge, but I do want the concussion grenade because we can use this. In this sense, I'm going to be using it to get a free perk, but you could also use this to help you start getting the void incantation out of the way early before even getting you know, like a different explosive grenade or something along the lines. I'll talk more about that in the match. And then absolutely essential for both this method and, in my opinion, this map in general, having a Molotov as your primary grenade. That's very important for this. So I'll go ahead and show you the weapon here. The only attachment I have on it's a sight because I haven't leveled it at all. I don't have any of the other attachments. And as far as the camos, as you can see, it says I have 25 critical kills with this weapon so far. I'm going to get probably at least all the way up to Purple Tiger in this one match. And maybe beyond that as well. Let's see here. Kills with enemies affected by your tactical equipment is possible with this, but not something I want to be working on. The armored zombies are going to be really easy, and we could certainly get up to gold. Probably not opal, because I don't have any of the other marksman rifles worked on yet either. But anyway, like I said, at the very least, we're going to get up to Purple Tiger in this video, maybe even beyond that as well, if I decide to work on it any beyond that. But anyway, so that's your essential loadout. You can bring any melee weapon that you want. I've got the cleaver selected because it's new and I thought it would be fun to play with. The power drill is still probably the strongest melee weapon to use. As you can see up there, I've got a lot of kills with it. I've played with it quite a bit. And I will be relying really heavily on my melee weapon, not for at least the first, I want to say 10 to 15 rounds maybe. Probably not much more than 10 or 11, but either way, the cleaver is what I'm going to be using primarily getting into the match. I'll go in now to the augment so that you can see. This is also a really good method for getting progress on your augment research because, like I said, it is good for leveling and XP as well, so that's something you can do. You can do this with as many weapons as you care to get in a single match, as well as your melee weapons to level them and get camos for them, so all of that is good to keep in mind as well. So for my method, which I've used to get at least past level 100, I recommend having Juggernog with reactive armor and hardened plates so that you get higher damage mitigation from your plates, and then also so that you can get a stun effect off of your armor when it breaks. And then this one's very important. On Melee Macchiato, there's two different paths that you can choose to do with this. For me, I like using Vampiric Extraction along with Stick and Move. You can do this as well with Espresso. You do need to understand, though, doing this with Espresso means that you're going to be gaining more armor quicker using the Sun Sword, which is going to be important for this. Whereas with the Vampiric Extraction, you'll be gaining back shield slower, but you'll also be gaining health at the same time, which can be important for survivability. My preference is to swing slower and gain back health at the same time as well, but you can do this as well with Espresso if you don't care to lose health while you're getting hit. That's where the hardened plate's really important. The Espresso means you'll be hitting faster, so you can take out enemies quicker, meaning you'll get your shield back faster, but it doesn't do anything to heal your health, so you can still die even with like 3 plates or even full shield if you get enough health damage dealt to you quickly enough. So that's why I like using the Vampiric Extraction. On Speed Cola, you don't have to have this, but I am running Supercharged on it to build up our field upgrade faster. It's not necessary, so if you prefer using Classic Formula or Phantom Reload, which I don't recommend at all, but Classic Formula is the other one that I use most of the time. For this method, I'm using Supercharged, just so that I can get up that extra little bit on my my Aether Shroud, but you don't have to do that. That's just personal preference. Vulture Aid, this is very important. You do need Picky Eater on Vulture Aid, and I highly recommend this. As far as your major augment, honestly, they're all kind of terrible. Again, much like what I've got on my Speed Cola, I've got Field Upgrade, so that you can build your Field Upgrade a bit quicker. But most of the time, you're not going to be standing in the cloud that it produces. So honestly, all 3 of these are useless, in my opinion. Smell of Death is very annoying because it'll make enemies run away from you if you stand in that cloud. Parting Gift is only effective if you're using a Wonder Weapon, and even then, it's not really super relevant on this map because most of the Wonder Weapons are going to be the swords unless you're using a ray gun. So I prefer just to keep the Field Upgrade for the off chance that it actually does something useful, but it's not super relevant. It's not important. What does matter, though, is this Picky Eater. You do need that, essentially. Let's see here. I have Elemental Pop set up with Citrus Focus so that it only applies the effect of the ammo mod applied to my weapon. I feel like this is really helpful. And then you can do a few different things here. If you're not going to do Citrus Focus, you can also do Imperial Peach and get some very good use out of that for the first 30 or so rounds of this, because you will get hit fairly recently, or fairly frequently. So Imperial Peach is another good option, but I like Citrus Focus, and I'll explain why once we get in, or once I get to the ammo mod that we'll be using primarily. And then I have Chillberry. I feel like having a reduce to cooldowns on the ammo mod is nice because it's going to increase the frequency at which it happens. You could also go with Pineapple Blast so that your grenades and things could have a element effect, but it's not super relevant here. And Vulnerabeam is a very good one that is totally worth using. I don't think it's what I want to do in this case because none of these matter extremely. But I think Chillberry is probably your best choice for this method along with Citrus Focus. Now, getting over into the ammo mods, we are going to be primarily using Light Mend. And by primarily, I mean I'm going to put it on every weapon that I plan on leveling. So it's going to be on my main weapon. I may put it on my melee weapon, though I'm not sure, because I'm going to be using the Sun Sword, Soleus Sword, after getting it. So it won't be as relevant then, but so Light Mend is very important. And for it, the augments that I have selected are big game, so that elite enemies will drop health glyphs and can drop 3. And I've got Express Remedy to increase the range that the glyphs can move to an ally, meaning us in this case, because I'm going to be playing solo. So you can use pretty much anything you want here. Antibiotic and longer life are what I normally have on my light mend. So that's the pair that I prefer normally, but for this method I'm going to be using Big Game and Express Remedy so that they can come to us from a farther distance when relevant, and so that the larger enemies can drop them, which may matter but isn't essential either, so you can do whatever you want in this section as well. Now, that covers the perks and the ammo mod, which is primarily the only one that we're going to be using. I do have augments on my other ammo mods. They could still happen, though I don't think they should because of the way that I have my elemental pop set up. But then for the Aether Shroud, I've got selected Burst Dash. The reason for this is I'm playing solo, so Group Shroud isn't going to help at all. And Void Sheath has currently at least, a glitch where if you use Void Sheath and one of the swords, it can crash your game. So I recommend not using that at all on this map, just on the off chance that you may do it by accident and crash your game. So I've got Burst Dash, and then Extra Charge is what I'm using for this, because there is situations where you may have to use it twice very quickly to get yourself out of a really bad situation, or, you know, something along those lines could happen. Extension's also really nice. Instant Reload's pretty useless in my opinion, but Extra Charge is what I'm going for here. That completely covers the build that I'm going to be going in with. So I'll go ahead and get into the match and try to show, without too many edits or cuts, the first 30 or so rounds of setup that are necessary for this method, and then how quickly the weapon levels up, gains camos, and how much you can level up as well. And I'm not even going to use any XP boosters in this match. You can, to try and boost your weapon XP or player XP that you gain from this, and it's pretty relevant. I'll probably go at least to round 40 or 50, whatever's necessary to at least get the purple tiger camo or whatever for this weapon. But you can go farther. I've gotten to round 101 in Exfil to get the round 100 Dark Ops, and you can go potentially longer than that if you really want to, but it does get more difficult. But you can stay in match and just keep gaining camo progress and XP for all of your weapons that you grab from the mystery box or wall buys, whatever you need. Alright, so we're in match now. I do want to go ahead and say, currently I have my recording set up in a way to where I'm getting quite a bit of audio lag, so I'm not going to hear very well throughout the game, but it shouldn't really impact anything too heavily. I'm going to be using primarily my melee weapon, like I said, so that's going to be what I use to get kills, at least until I get the Sun Sword. And I'm not going to be using the Rampage Inducer just because I don't like it, but you can if you want to speed up early rounds. I'm also going to be covering the locations of some of the Easter eggs that I'm going to be grabbing along the way, and probably making separate videos using that content as well. So I'll be sure to show those in this video if you want to check it out as well. But this isn't going to be a full Easter egg video because I'm not going to be doing the story Easter egg. But first and foremost, if you head into the bar here, sometimes there is a zombie on the ground here, which is what I was looking for, but it's not there. You can come upstairs, and there's one. There's this pool table, and every single map has this pool table to where you can hit these pool balls and get a little bonus essence. So that's one Easter egg out of the way right away. And you can do that on every map, in fact, not just this one. And then also, if you want to do the audio Easter egg, the first headphones of Mr. Peak's headphones are right here on this table. So I've actually got it set to where copyrighted music is not available to play, so I'm not even going to bother clicking on it. But here is the first headphone that you can get right away without even opening any doors. And then past that, if you're trying to do the Rat King Easter egg, you'll want to grab the cheese from inside this window right here, and you can come over here to get the very first one, hiding under this little planter. Got some zombies for the round coming. There's basically, about the way that I've been remembering it for the Rat King Easter egg, there's essentially one rat in every area, more or less. Not completely, but you'll kind of see what I mean and how they're easy to remember by keeping that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and start going in this direction first, just for preference. But the second rat is going to be right here at this car wreckage. Get it. Going up from here, this is one of the locations where you can have the mystery box. At this point, it's on the other side of the map where the Deadshot Daiquiri perk is. So I'm not going to be looking at it, but if you're wanting to get multiple weapons to level up during the match, that's a really good way to do so. Unless you need wall buys. I've already maxed out most of the wall buy weapons, so it's not entirely important for me. And as you just saw there, I laid down in front of the Speed Cola machine to get loose change. You can do that with any perk machine on any map. If you lay down in front of it, you'll get 100 points, or 100 essence. And you can do that on any map. And if you have double points, it does get doubled to 200. Alright, we're on round 4, so the cleaver, much like any of the other melee weapons, is now a 2-hit, which is pretty inconvenient. But a benefit of playing on Citadel is that very soon we are going to be grabbing the Melee Macchiato perk, which will make it again to where our melee hits are a one-hit kill, even with a white rarity non-pack-a-punched weapon. So heading up from here, we don't have another rat that we have access to yet, but if you get this door, we'll go ahead and get the loose change here. Sometimes there's a zombie right here, but it doesn't look like it's there this time. And then right here will be the next rat. We go ahead and get it. Take out the zombies for this round, and then we can get the cannon turn to get inside. We have enough money now to go ahead and grab Melee Macchiato, so I'm going to do that since it's so important for our build here. I do have stick and move, so I do have a little bit of an easier time evading hits, getting swung back at me. And then also, if we take damage at this point, it's not going to matter too much, because we do have the Vampiric Strike. But now that we're down to one zombie, I'm just going to run up here quickly, get this cranked so that we can open up the castle's front entrance. If I start taking a little bit of a damage, it's not really a big deal. I'm still totally fine. We'll shoot the cannon. And I'm going to go over this way just so that I can lay down in front of the elemental pop machine and get the loose change there. There is another Easter egg we can work on here by shooting Mr. Peaks through this window, so I'll get that in just a moment. Go ahead and kill the zombie. Now, if we shoot Mr. Peaks, it should trigger an Easter egg where he's going to disappear, and if we find him going forward, and I'll take you to the locations for that, we'll have the ability to get a free perk from him. Now, coming in here, if you want, you can get Juggernaut early. I'm not going to bother with it. There's also armor here, but I'm trying to save my points just getting farther down into the castle, so I'm going to risk it and play without Juggernaut for a while. We've got a vermin around here, so we want to take those out. They're a little bit annoying to do while using a melee weapon, but it shouldn't be too much of a hassle. The parasites are particularly annoying because they fly around. But it's still not too bad, you just chase them and smack them. I actually like the parasites much more than the vermin. The vermin really get on my nerves. So the next rat for the Easter egg of Rat King is this one right here. You get it to move on. Then coming through this door, you can lay down at this pallet here for the next rat. And for the Easter egg working at the bartending, you go ahead and grab the first bottle right here. You can hit those kinds of cases while in the castle and get scrap in some occasions or parasites to come out. I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit of this round just killing zombies again.
I insist.
Okay, so we're down to one zombie. I'm going to go ahead and start continuing farther down into the castle. The next rat that we want for the Rat King Easter egg is going to be right here. Let that go. And once it has scurried off, we can also lay down here for more loose change from the quick revive. We got another box here, so I'll open that up for some free scrap. And then, do I have enough money to buy this? I do. So we'll go ahead and head down into the next area. If you come over here, you can see the rats that you've collected for the Rat King Easter egg, and we've already got a majority of them. Zombies still following pretty close behind me. I'll open up this box. We want to get the Pack-a-Punch box opened up, which we shouldn't have too much trouble with the doppelgas that comes out because we have melee macchiato. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit that and then try to kill this doppelgas just as quickly as possible. A little bit annoying without Juggernaut, but it's not too bad. Get back up while that explodes. We do have another round going to be coming in fast, so that can be a little bit difficult in this room. I'm not going to worry about pack-a-punching my melee weapon at the moment, because we're not going to be continuing to use it beyond this point much.
They have little fighting skill, and even less heart.
We do want to try and save one more zombie in this round for just ease of us being able to get around and complete a few more things. You can very easily, on round 7, start working on the incantations for the main story Easter egg if you're doing it. But that's not something that we're working on in this case. I do have a few of the other Easter eggs I want to get progress towards, like free perks and things, but that is my real priority on this round. And I will be pack-a-punching and upgrading the rarity of the gun that I've brought in to level with the camos. I just don't plan to do that immediately, since we're not even going to shoot it until probably round 30. I hate these enemies. Okay, we get one more kill here, and that's everybody gone. Go ahead and pick up our scrap and all that. We do want to open this door so that we can get our second bottle for the bartending Easter egg. We've got another one of these boxes here with the parasite inside. Our next rat for the Rat King Easter egg is right here, so let him scurry off. Now, we want to go and talk to Craft in the dungeon, which is going to allow us to start working on incantations. That's not a big priority of this, but there is a free perk that you can get by interacting with the Raven for the Void incantation. So that's why I'm doing this now. You'll be safe while this cutscene is initiated. Nothing will walk in behind you, and we're just waiting until he finishes the part where his eyes glow purple. Like I said, I currently have a bit of audio lag on my end. It shouldn't affect the video at all, but I can't hear what's being said currently. It's delayed for me.
Listen closely. Oculus tools.
Alright, so once Craft has finished the purple eyes section of his speech, you can run off. I am coming back down to the Undercroft really quick just to show one more thing. There is the Mr. Peaks headphone number 2 right there that you can grab. Technically that would be the third one. I passed one already, but I'll go back and show it real quick. So if you've been following along with me so far, we're walking into what is the alchemy room now. If you come and lay down right here, you can see another one of the rats. And heading into the sitting room, the final rat is located right here. Or, well, not necessarily final. It can be the final one, obviously, if you've gotten the one down in the Deadshot area already. But I do still need to go there for that one. So, I am going to go ahead and lay down right here at Stamina Up to get the loose change, then run on upstairs. I don't remember if I already laid down at Voltrade, so I'm going to do that. Okay, I didn't, so there's a little bit more extra points from that. Gonna head on back in here, and I really want to get Juggernog because I've been taking some hits. That'll give me some more survivability going forward, but it does mean that I'm going to need more money to open up that section over there. But before doing that, you can see the final Mr. Peaks headphone right here at this wall. This one would technically be the second one that you'd be able to grab, but I did it in a weird order. But there you go. So there's all of those for the audio Easter egg if you want to do that. As far as I know, you don't gain any real rewards from doing it other than playing the audio, which is pretty fun. But that's one Easter egg out of the way. I am going to spend a little bit of scrap right here and get light mend on my weapon. Even though we're not using it yet, that's still going to be helpful going forward. And then I can't open up any remaining doors, I don't believe. I'll go check. Yeah, doesn't look like I can get that door open yet. So I'm going to do one more thing, which is just to grab the last bottle for the bartending Easter egg, because it's going to be pretty fun. I may do the entire next round through bartending, because we don't get our first sword stamp until round 10. So I'm just going to run up here, back to the sitting room, where the last bottle is located. Okay, when you're in here in the sitting room, the last bottle is located right here on this shelf. You can go ahead and grab that. And now you have everything that you need to do the bartending Easter egg down in the bar, which is a lot of fun, and I think I will go ahead and do the next round using it, just because I need points. So now that we're back down here, I did want to go ahead and say, none of the gobblegums that I'm using are important in this. You can bring whatever you want. Normally I bring my Holiday Cheer gobblegums, because they are the easiest ones to burn, I guess I could say. And what I mean by easiest to burn is if you have a daily challenge or something along those lines where it's asking you to eat gobblegums or consume gobblegums, but you're not doing something where you necessarily need to, or have anything to really gain from doing so, then it's better just to bring ones that you don't mind losing. So as you can see there, when you have all three of the bottles, you come down here and hit the platter on the bar to activate the bartending Easter egg. Then you just want to match the color of drink to the request being made from the zombie. And not only will the spot in front of them light up with what drink they want, but their eyes will also change color to reflect what drink they want. And this Easter egg is probably one of my favorite mini-games out of any of the maps. You've got the like Whack-A-Mole or Whack-A-Crab in Terminus and the bowling in Liberty Falls, but I think this one is just much more fun, in my opinion at least. So I'll go ahead and go through this, and by completing this Easter egg, you get the PhD Flopper perk for free, which is really nice because there is no PhD perk machine on this map, and so otherwise you'd have to wait until round 25 or do one of the other free perk Easter eggs to potentially get it. Alright, so now that the Easter egg has ended, we go ahead and drink our PhD, pull out our knife, and yes, it looks like it was a parasite. I'm going to go ahead and leave it alive so that I can walk around for a bit. We want to buy this door now. There's usually a faking or sleeping zombie right there to hit. Here is Deadshot, which you can lay down at and get some spare change, and then a lightning rod if you need it. I went ahead and grabbed it. Right here is the location of the hook, or horseshoe, I should say, if you're trying to complete the incantation or invocation for the lightning Easter egg, or lightning sword. Right here is the final rat that we need, so we go ahead and get that, and he scurries off, so we'll complete the rat Easter egg here. Next up for the Mr. Peaks Easter egg, there should be a broken little section of wall here that you can shoot Mr. Peaks. I may not be able to really see him here, but he's like right there. I can't... It's very hard to hit without a long-range gun, so I don't know if I hit it successfully there. It's in a broken spot on the castle wall, but once you've done that, he'll run up and next go to a location that you can see from the dining hall. Now, doing these free perk Easter eggs, I do want to warn you on those. It increases the price of any perks that you go to buy beyond that, so I caution maybe potentially purchase the ones you want first so that their cost doesn't go up. But then the next location for Mr. Peaks, if you have successfully shot him on the wall, or in the broken part of the castle wall from that last spot, is going to be visible from right about here. He'll go to this window right here, where you can hit him if he's already there. I can't see because I only have a red dot on my gun. But so if you get him successfully at that spot, then he'll come down to this jail cell in the prison here. So he's not here for me. I've obviously missed him at some point. I'll have to use a more appropriate gun to show this Easter egg off in the future. But he'll be sitting right here where you shoot him a final time to get a free perk. Maybe. Alright, so back down in the courtyard area here, the Raven is located just inside that sewer part right there. That's exactly where you'll come out if you ride it from the tunnel up top, the drop chute. You normally, to get the Raven to come out, would shoot it while riding the chute down, but you can use any explosive, including explosive ammo from a weapon, or primary and secondary grenades, to get it to come out from this side. So I'm just going to throw my concussion grenade, that's why I brought it, and it's going to scare out the Raven. Now, what you want to do to get the free perk from this Raven is to follow it all the way around the map until it drops a free perk power-up, and it'll look red. Now, if you shoot the Raven, it'll give you the Raven Claw Relic, so that you can do the Void Invocation. But I'm not going to be doing that, or Incantation, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to follow it around the map several times until it finally drops that free perk. And it will take several times, which is why I said it's going to roll over into the next round while following it. You just follow it just like I am here. And when the round flips, I'll have to kill zombies while doing it. But I'm going to go ahead and skip forward until the point where it drops what I'm after. Okay, the Raven has finally dropped the perk. So I'm just going to kill things while I wait for it to come down. I don't have any plates at the moment, so it's a little bit dangerous. Looks like we got Vulture Aid, which is nice. You don't have to buy it. If I could get an armor plate, I plan on using that. Alright, that'll feel a lot better because it'll make our Juggernog Augments a little bit more helpful for damage mitigation. Let's put my Parasite. This is pretty much the entire round of zombies left right here. Which there's quite a few of them, but I just got them to follow me, didn't do anything in particular, didn't even kill most of them while I was following the Raven. Because as you follow it and you keep changing the zone that you're in, they're going to frequently despawn while following you and try respawning in the new area you've moved into. So they're not much of a threat. You just got to keep watching in front of you periodically as you're following the Raven to make sure that you aren't running into anything that's going to hold you up. I'm going to leave this last zombie, and we're going to go claim our Rat King crown and perk. And whatever else it drops. It also usually drops an ammo mod of some kind and some grenades, usually. We no longer need the concussion grenade we came in here with, so if it gives us like a monkey bomb or a Casimir, we can switch that out. I do have a bit of money saved up now that this round has pretty much concluded. Come over here, we see all 10 rats. Give them the cheese. Alright, so we've got a Napalm Burst, a Stamina perk, which I will use. There's some money, and a Symbol Monkey, which I will happily take. And then we can also take our crown. I'll go ahead and switch to the perspective where you can see my character. As you can see, I'm playing with the new Squid Game skin available for player number 6. Thought it was fun, but you can see the crown on our character. Switch our perspective back. that is all of the workup that I had planned on doing up to getting anything next. We do have some more perks that we want to buy. I'm going to go ahead and get Elemental Pop. The perks are pretty expensive at this point because we already got a couple for free, but those are still going to be helpful. We don't have a lot of scrap built up yet, but it's also not necessary. Our weapon's still one-hit killing. We probably want to get Speed Cola next, I would think, or Quick Revive, because both are going to be very important. But we'll go ahead and head inside now. Or, well, I'll head back to the courtyard at the front of the town that we spawned in on round 1. And I'll fight until I get a stamp from one of the bucket heads. That way we can start working on getting the lion sword, the one that we're going to be using going forward. Alright, so we've got our armored zombie here, or our helmeted zombie here, that we need for the stamp. You'll see he's immune to any headshots, but chop him down with our cleaver, which I gotta say, not my favorite melee weapon. It's neat if you just like it stylistically, but it attacks much slower than the regular knife or the drill does, so I think it's not really a great addition. It may be still potentially better than the baseball bat, because the baseball bat's pretty slow, but at least it has more range, so depending on your preference there, that can be the hang-up. I'm going to go ahead and get a 2-plate vest here, because I'll feel a little bit more comfortable having that, and then save up more money to get my next perk as soon as available. We do have the stamp, so we want to go ahead and start performing necessary tasks for the lion sword. So what we're going to do is get these little parasites to spawn, and you want to be careful. They made it to where the swords can hit multiple enemies at once now, 2 at a time in fact. So you don't want to swing at them when they're grouped up, as you might kill them and flip the round, because you need to kill them one at a time and hit the door with them. So I'll go ahead and bring them down to the location of the door with me. They tend to follow pretty well, so you don't have to be too cautious about losing them. But then once they're down here, we just want to get one by itself, kill it, run over, smack the door. You'll do this for each of them, so you'll do it 4 times. Looks like we've gathered up a couple more zombies. Not too worried about them, but I do need to get one of these bugs over here separated from the other. Okay, we've got that. Smack the door once again, and then we need the final parasite. Alright, so once you have hit the door with all 4 parasite sword, or all 4 of the lights, you'll come in here. Sometimes you'll have zombies inside, but if not, that's no problem. Go ahead and put that there. We've got to shoot these symbols, and the order is always exactly the same. So what we're looking for first is the circle with a dot in it, then the snowflake, then after that the triangle or fishbone, and then the circle with the line. Always the exact same order. You can look at the pedestal to see which one it wants, but it will never change, or hasn't so far unless they update it in the future. So coming back out, we do have more zombies after us. We're going to go ahead and clear them out. We don't have anything else that we care for on this round. And then concluding that, we are going to be spending the next several rounds down in the Pack-a-Punch room. There's a very good location that you can sit and take out zombies. So I'll show that. We're just going to be spinning rounds there as we get money, buy the rest of the perks that we need, and get Pack-a-Punch levels on our weapon that we're going to be upgrading. Now, you don't have to do that step unless the weapon has a camo challenge for killing with it while it's Pack-a-Punched, but either way I like to have it because you will still be using it to kill parasites in the future. So, once you are down in the Pack-a-Punch room, you want to get in this cave and just sit here and keep swinging your sword. You don't have to click multiple times to swing it like you do normal melee weapons. I'm going to go ahead and grab that insta-kill even though it's entirely unnecessary. But you can just stand here and kill for the entire round, get the points as needed. All of the enemies are going to die right here in front of you, so if a double points or something drops, you want to just step forward and grab it. one of the best features of this location, along with the fact that nothing can get behind you to attack you, is that you can actually turn around and get the shoot behind you to take you away from the enemies, because if things get a little too sketchy, you can just turn around, hit that cave slide, and get deposited away from here. Not to mention you should have your Aether Shroud charges, your monkey bombs if you have them like I do. So plenty of ways to get out of a rough spot if you need to. Keep an eye on your armor while swinging at the zombies, because if you're using Vampiric Strike like I am, then it'll be a little bit slower. It'll keep you healed up health-wise, but your armor may still get depleted. So if it gets completely depleted and you need to make sure you replate, that is where having quick reload at this point can be helpful, because it can help you plate faster. So I don't have that, but that is a benefit of having that at this point if you did. Once you have finished up the bug round, just want to get back in that spot and keep holding it. I'll probably pack-a-punch my weapon when I get back down there. I'm just running up here at the moment so that I can put the rest of these stamps on these knights, just so that I don't keep getting them. If you leave, like save and quit in a solo match like what I'm doing, the stamps will start falling again and they get really annoying. So I'm going to be doing all this on one run, no save and quit. But I just want to get these stamps on these statues so they stop popping up. I don't like the armored knights. Sometimes you can hit them in the head and they won't die and they'll just kind of clog in your way. And then also seeing the stamps on the floor all over the place gets annoying too. So even though I'm not going to be doing anything with any of the rest of these swords, I just want to get the stamps placed. Go ahead and kill that last spider, head back down to our spot. Now, I do apologize if swinging the sword is super loud. It will be for you too, unless you've changed the audio settings on it, but I'll turn it down in the video, I'm sure, so hopefully it won't be too bad. But yeah, you just want to stay here and keep swinging. We have, in this case, a Doppelgast is running at us. The swords very quickly knock that out. It's not a problem. You take negligible damage from the explosion, so there's no need to run or move out of the way of them. You can just sit here and keep swinging. Now, when the Lion's Sword is fully charged, you will continue to gain back shield, and with the newest update, despite the buffs or the nerfs that they did, lowering its percentage of shield regenerated from 5% to 4%, they increase the amount of enemies that you can hit per swing, so actually it gives you a buff instead of a nerf as long as you're hitting 2 zombies at a time, because it goes from hitting and getting 5% shield back to getting 8% shield back. So that's why the espresso is still relevant, because if you're using the espresso augment on melee macchiato, you'll be swinging fast enough to just keep regenerating your shield fast enough, and most zombies can't get into you while you're standing here, so it's not an issue. But if you're getting a lot of things like Doppelgasts dying, like a lot of them in the later rounds, which is why I have this set up the way I do, then even though you'll have high shield from being able to use espresso, you're going to have your health going down, and sometimes at a rate faster than your like quick revive and things like that can keep up with. So I like to just get rid of any issues, use that Vampiric Strike, and it'll allow me to keep healing my health. Like I said, you can just see there, lots of power-ups will drop. Since they're just going to be right in front of you, they're easy to just step forward and grab. We get a whole bunch of scrap with this method. We're not taking a lot of damage, but it does get very hectic at the later rounds, and so you could say that my build is set up with 40 plus rounds in mind. The espresso and stuff is very usable up to round probably 40, 35, 40, but the Vampiric Drain is more sustainable for rounds all the way up to 100, which is where I've taken this. And I won't be doing that for this video, but like I said, I'll probably still go into the 40s, 50 roughly, depending on how long it takes me to get that camo for my gun. as you can see, we're still in the setup stage right now. We're not at a point where we're gaining any progress with our gun. We're 100% using a melee weapon. So in some sense, this is slower in that route. But I'll show you once we finally get to where we start gaining the camo and XP from the exploit is the best thing to call it for what it is that I'm going to show. This is really the fastest, most efficient, and best way to gain XP, to level up, to get camos on your weapons. And you can do this for melee weapons, you can do it for the rocket launchers, for the pistols, any weapon that you want. The only reason that I picked this marksman rifle is because it is a weapon that I have the least amount of progress on, and I wanted to show how quickly it can work from a weapon at basically 0 progress to get all the way up. We do have an amalgam coming ahead of us. Still not a really big problem. It will take a bit longer to die. It's going to grab us. We can actually use the sword to block its bite. And then you can just come back in here. It'll only try to grab you maybe once usually, and then it'll walk forward and you can start hitting it. Other things are going to die while you're hitting it, so it's actually really quick still. You can take a couple swings if you start getting really overrun in your room at the other enemies, but this is where that vampiric drain really shines. Because we have reactive armor on Juggernaut, if something were to break one of our plates completely, it will stun all of the regular zombies, and the Lion Sword, while you're killing the regular zombies and hitting them at all, will regenerate your shield and cause that reactive armor to trigger again and again, even without replating. And the vampiric drain will keep your health high while you're swinging that whole time. So it's very relevant, very important. Let's go ahead, get level 1 Pack-a-Punch, level 2 Pack-a-Punch on this, go a little bit longer and get level 3. We've actually got enough money. I'm going to go over here, grab the 3-plate armor real quick for just a little bit more security, then get back in my spot and start swinging again. Not a lot is going to change over the course of the next few rounds. My recommendation is to do this up until level, or round, I should say, 30, maybe 32, 33. You're not going to have much luck in this particular spot past those rounds. So I would suggest standing here until around round 30 to 32, 33, then make sure and go get all of the perks that you need, fully Pack-a-Punch, any weapons that you're going to be using, because at this point you may have already bought another 1 or 2. So if that's the case, you can get all the way up to Pack-a-Punching both of them. But I'll go ahead and skip ahead in the video at this point, or in the recording at this point, to when I'm at round 30 or so, and have fully Pack-a-Punched my weapon and gotten all the perks. Maybe not even that far, because we can start doing things at round 25 or so, since I'm only upgrading 1 weapon. I will go ahead and make a short cut in here. I didn't move very far ahead. The insect rounds, you are going to have to come out of your hole here and chase down the insects and kill them, because the parasites will just shoot at you forever and won't just come to you. Shouldn't have too many problems if you are dealing with the insect round, just coming out and smacking them. The vampiric should keep you alive pretty easily, along with the armor that you're going to be building back. But you can also, if you didn't know this, you can use the special ability of the swords on the parasite round without much ramifications of it, because when you get that max ammo, it will again fully charge your sword as long as you have not saved and quit. When you save and quit, for whatever reason, there is a bug that makes it to where that max ammo will not recharge your sword, but as long as you haven't left the match or come back to it, those max ammos will refill the charge on your sword too to start getting your armor back. Alright guys, I've made it so far to round 25. Now, with this round, it should have spawned in the Wonder Fizz machine down in the bar. I'm going to get to the end of this round and attempt to keep 1 zombie alive, run down to the Wonder Fizz, get the remaining perks that I need. You may need to spend longer here attacking with the sword than I'm going to get up enough money to fully Pack-a-Punch and purchase everything that you need, depending on how many weapons you're trying to upgrade or do at a time. For me, I'm only using this 1 weapon, so I've already level 3 Pack-a-Punched it, I've not had any difficulty in this spot here so far, so I'm just chilling still till the end of the round. Like I said, I want to get one zombie left if I can. It should slow down quite a bit towards the end of the round, like right now. Yeah, so we'll come out of the little hidey hole. Shouldn't have any problem just cleaving away at these guys. Looks like I got like 3 here. Do that, 2 of them dead. Now we've got 1 guy left. You can fully upgrade your, or fully repair your armor if you need to. You can use the chute here, and it'll take you all the way down to where you need to go. So I'll go ahead and do that. The chute that we've been standing on. When you buy it, it rides you down this tunnel. And this is normally where you would shoot the Raven if you didn't do the explosive method that I did. But so we'll head on in here. I've got about 30k essence at the moment, so I'm going to buy quick reload and quick revive for sure. Looks like I have enough for dead shot as well, so we'll go ahead and get that. That should be the final zombie respawning on me. So I'm going to start on this round, though, showing you the method that we're going to be doing to level up very quickly, gain camos and levels for our gun with very little effort. It's very safe. Like I said, I use this method to get all the way to round 100. It is, to the, I guess the best category for it would be an exploit. It's not necessarily a glitch. It takes advantage of safety areas that the zombies' pathing has issues with, so for you to stay alive using the traps at each of these gates. So you do need to have enough money to activate the traps before you can start doing this, that sort of thing. But the only thing that I would say is potentially a glitch about it is the fact that the kills from the traps count as kills from your weapon. And if it's a weapon that can get critical hits, such as the one that we're going to be using, it'll count all of the kills as critical hits and level up your camos extremely quickly. So this will most likely get patched in the future, but right now this is, in my opinion, the most efficient, fastest way to level up your weapons, to level up your player, to get camos for your weapons. So I would take advantage of this while you're able to. So I'll go ahead, kill this last zombie. Let's go ahead and upgrade the rarity on this weapon since we're going to be using it. 4,000 is all the scrap I've got for now to get it up to purple, but that's not bad. We'll wait for the round to really get going. And I don't use the traps for bugged rounds. You probably could. But I usually step out of the way and just kill the round with my sword in that case. Well, let's go ahead, activate the trap, throw down a Molotov, and now whenever a zombie dies to this fire, it will count as zombie critical kills, as you can see there in my feed, for the weapon that you're holding. Now, you can't pick up the power-ups and stuff like we did before, but because you're killing the zombies with your weapon, with this trap, that's why I'm using the light mend ammo and have the augments for it that I do. It will make it more likely for it to drop light mend orbs to heal you, because if a lot of the doppelgasts ends up dying next to you while doing this, it can seriously hurt your health, which is also why I'm using the hardened plates for damage mitigation and things like that. You can already see we're starting to rack up levels. And all I did was stood at the trap. Once the round has ended, you just go and pick up all your scrap and pick up your grenades, because the scavenger or Voltrade setup that we have should make it drop more of like your monkey bombs and stuff like that. Okay. Once the next round is started, that trap will be on cooldown. You want to run over to the other trap here, light it up. You want to get on this wall here and lay down. So we are still taking damage from these doppelgasts dying next to us and stuff. That's why I said it's so important to make sure you're using light mend and using hardened plates to mitigate that damage, because we're not using the sword now, so we can't heal up from it. Now, the main thing you do need to watch for is these parasites. You will want to shoot those with whatever weapon you're using. So if you're doing a melee weapon, you want to hold another weapon potentially to shoot those parasites, but that's the only real danger to you other than taking damage from doppelgasts, which just sitting here you can sit and hit square, pick up armor, pick up salvage, stuff like that off of the ground, and easily repair yourself that way. The round went by really quick. We've got some power-ups here, and you saw I already am getting camos for this weapon. That'll happen really quickly because I don't have any for it yet. But like I said, you do want to make sure to be shooting those parasites, because those can kill you. And we've got a parasite round here. I'll show you how I tend to deal with the parasite round. It's pretty easy. I'll just run inside here and get to a place with like a pretty low ceiling. This room isn't too bad here because they have to come into the room completely to bother you. You do have to turn around some, so that can get annoying. Right now I've got brain rot affected on one of the crawlers there, one of the vermin, so it's drawing them all into it. But you can take care of the bug rounds pretty easily, the same way that we've done everything up to this point, just using the lion sword. And as I mentioned before, you can use the lion sword special ability to kill the bugs and regain armor very quickly until the end of the round. And then when you get that max ammo, it'll recharge your sword and have it back ready for you. Now, you may think that it's unnecessary to have all of the precautions that I've set up if all you're doing is sitting and letting the trap kill everything, but as you get into later rounds, there is going to be more and more things left over that don't die to the trap. So, as that happens, you'll get to the end of the round and still potentially need to kill things. So you'll be going back to using your sword to kill those things at the end of the round, or I do, because it has the most sustainability of life. And so that really explains a lot of the setup that we've done up to this point. But this is really it. You just sit here, wait out the round, deal with whatever's left at the end of the round. As I said, a lot of things do pull up at the end of the round, where as you get into the later and later rounds, more and more things end up surviving. You'll probably want monkey bombs or Casimir grenades to help clean that up. And if you do get to the point where there's just like one zombie at the end alive, you may want to keep that zombie alive, go purchase another weapon from the mystery box to work on leveling, or go and pack a punch, or purchase perks again if you've lost any for any reason, like if you have Dying Wish on Quick Revive and need to go and repurchase that. That's something you can do with one zombie left. Just make sure that you pull out your weapon you're trying to level up and focus on shooting the parasites every time, and that should be the biggest difficulty. See, right there was a situation where that special zombie, the Doppelgas, died. The life flew to us and healed up its explosive damage. That's why the Lightmend and other augments that I've got set up on this just makes you more sustainable, because in those later rounds, when you start getting 3, 4, 5 Doppelgasts all coming and running in quick and dying, they could kill you. And so having that sustainability is just one extra thing that can keep you alive up to round 100 or later, if that's still something you're working on. Makes all the difference. Already got our weapon up to level 6. We've got a lot of the camos already worked on. It's still popping up because it takes a while. I'm going to be going until I get that purple tiger camo, and I probably won't make any significant cuts here. I want to show off this method and really show you what it's like to be doing it. But as long as you have Vulture Aid and a Molotov, you can keep relighting this trap and get your Molotovs back at the end of the round very easily. Any specials or amalgams, elites that run in are all going to die. The only thing that can get to you and do damage, other than the Doppelgast's range attack or explosion when they die, is going to be those parasites. So you do have to be vigilant to make sure they die. When you're on this trap, they'll always pull up in front of you. They'll fly around in this general area and you can shoot them. At the other trap, they can end up behind you and fly around quite a bit because it's more open at the other trap. So it leaves you a lot more vulnerable. This one's the safer one. The other trap can leave you in danger of getting hit much more easily of the Doppelgas explosions as well. So you've got to really be more careful at the other one. And then also I have trouble at the other one that you guys may run into as well, where sometimes I'll try and climb up on that little wall to lay on and it'll push me over it instead of on it. That can be mitigated a bit with your settings, but I've noticed that if just turning my back to it really helps, like turning my back to it and jumping, it makes it a lot easier. So you can see we've got a parasite behind us here. This is what I was talking about. They can be really annoying on this one. If they get right here, they get a lot of free reign to attack you from behind that just won't end up killing them, so you got to be more vigilant with those. The other ones will mostly fly around in front of you here. I've had a couple fly out above me before, but this is really pretty safe. You can see, though, I'm taking a lot more damage from, like, I think there were 3, maybe, doppelgasts that all died, like, right on top of me at once here. So it did damage to me a lot more quickly. I was able to repair my plate easily, though. You can drop down with whatever zombies remain on the round here and start taking them out with your sword, because that corner will pull them all into right here. You can sit here and rack in the kill streaks as well. I always recommend having, at the very least, a chopper gunner, but probably either a chopper gunner or a mutant injection. Mutant injections can be very helpful. Let's go ahead and get the rarity up to the last one on this. Deal with this bud round. This is going to be a lot of on repeat for the next several rounds. As you can see, like, there's not going to be a big change here. There may be moments where I can show you if I get into any sticky situations using the Aether Shroud or something like that. But honestly, there's not going to be much of a change. So if you want to go ahead and leave off now on the video, I understand. I'm just playing it out till the end so that you guys can see how effective this is, even into those later rounds where things start surviving past the traps. Because like I said, ideally around now would be when you would start using the traps. I just did it a little bit earlier because I only have one weapon that I'm leveling. So if you have 2 or 3, if you're doing a melee weapon also, you may end up coming down here closer to this round and start doing the oil traps, and I want you to have an idea of what that will look like. But I'm going to go ahead and roll out this method until I have gotten the purple tiger camo for this gun, and at that point I'll go ahead and head out to extract after that. So if you guys want to continue watching to see how all of that plays out, you're welcome to. I'll not do any cuts here. I want you guys to fully see how busted this is if you are watching. It easily still wipes up these rounds. And it will give you, if your camo challenge has something to do with killing specials, killing elites, it'll do all that. If it has anything to do with rarity, as you can see, it still counts, because all of these count as your weapon kills. I do expect that to be fixed in the future, because obviously these are not weapon kills. I'm killing everything with the oil trap. Sometimes it can get a little annoying. They'll throw you more and more bud rounds faster. But you just want to wait until enemies start coming at you. Get the trap set up. This one's a little annoying. You do kind of want to lay down so that you can prioritize like these bugs when you see them. You won't be able to see them without laying down, and you need to be vigilant in killing them quickly. You can also, like, use the grenades that are pulling up in front of you and stuff, but I've noticed, like, for example, when I did this to work on a rocket launcher, it can cause a delay in how quickly the zombies get to you. As you start blowing up their legs and stuff, they become crawlers, and it messes up the pathing of the other enemies. So I try to be mindful of that while I'm doing this also, so I don't really like to use up my grenades. You need to make sure you have the Molotovs available, got a chopper gunner there, for lighting the next trap. Everything like that is important to keep in mind. Go ahead and light this one. Yep, we've got a doppelgast that's going to explode on us here. And zombies do come out of this little hole right here, but they die instantly. This spot here is completely safe for you to stand in. you don't take damage from the trap, and you would otherwise. Because if I were to walk into that trap, because it does it at the beginning when I walk over here often, it would still do damage to me, even though I have, like, PhD to make sure that I don't take damage from my own explosions and things. These traps still hurt, and they hurt a lot. So that's why I don't run over and try and grab any of the power-ups or anything particularly. But yeah, so we've got more zombies here at the end of the round. As you keep going farther, it's going to be just more and more zombies that end up surviving past the trap at the end of the round. To the point where, like, multiple doppelgasts will end up spawning in and coming at you after the round has already, like, gone through, after the trap is turned off. That's why you want to make sure you have your Aether Shroud, make sure that you have yourself prepared with a good secondary grenade, like the monkey bombs, things like that, to just add to your survivability after the trap turns off. Right now we're doing really well though, even with the damage that we're taking from those doppelgasts exploding. Because they'll just keep exploding. If you get 3 or 4 of them here in front of you, it's pretty significant damage on this side that can kill you if you're not really paying attention to your health. And that's, like I said, the 100% why I'm running light mend on the weapon and stuff, just to make sure that I heal through those doppelgast explosions. It's like in this case, round is ended. I will show at the end of the video as well how much... Oh, I used up an extra grenade by accident there. I will show at the end of the video how much XP I gain. Like I said, I haven't used a double XP booster. This isn't a double XP weekend, anything like that, but I want you guys to see the potential of how much you can get from this in just one match, even without going to like 100. Because generally, your XP will fall off as you're getting later and later in the match, but you can see all the medals popping up at the top. Those are really going to give you a lot of XP towards your player level and things like that. So the amount of them that you get from while these traps are running really makes a difference in the end to how much XP you get as well. And these rounds go by really quickly. See, my weapon level's already 14. We're up to stripe camo, it looks like. This weapon was level 1 when I started. I had 30-ish kills total on it before starting up this match. So you're getting to see how extremely quickly it levels up. And you could obviously play out the vermin rounds however you want. You could potentially try using the traps. It will still kill the vermin very quickly, the oil traps, and you could kill the parasites just like we have been leading up to now by shooting them. I don't like doing that though, because there are so many more parasites during the insect round. So you'd be taking significantly more damage and wouldn't get the extra survivability that you get from having this lion sword. I've still, on round 39, not hit a part where I'm really feeling the need to use any like secondary grenades or the special ability of the lion sword to take out the round. I'm still surviving just fine from just swinging it. Alright, looks like we got the zombies coming in for the round. Really easy, rinse and repeat method. This is really quick. I know this is going to be a pretty long video, and I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't very many people left watching at this point. Like I said, I want to show off the entirety of how far this weapon gets leveled up and how much progress we get on the camos in this one match. But this is why I said, A lot of people have been talking about how easy it is now to get these camos completed and get headshots and stuff so quickly from playing the directed mode of Citadel and using one of the, which I'll do a video on it probably too, using the directed mode along with one of the invocation steps, or any of them really. Most commonly you'll see people using the light invocation because it's in the dining hall here, but you could do it with the electric one or any other two depending on your preference. Okay. For a second there I thought the trap didn't activate, so you got to see how much damage that trap can do to you too if you walk back into it. So I've lost quite a bit of life here, and that's where that light mend can seriously make a difference in healing you. That's why I'm using the elemental pop augment as well. That makes it to where only the things that your weapon produces will spawn. Because you can see I'm getting light mend to happen even when it's the things that aren't being killed by my gun, and it'll heal me up. Okay, we got the end of the round. You can just follow down right here. Kill what's left. Up to already level 16 it looks like for my gun. We've got a mutant injector here, which will be perfect for our extraction. Which, even when I was on round 101 and extracted, I had a mutant injector for it and didn't even use it because it was so easy to get through the round with just the sword. Or get the Exfil cleared with just the sword. Alright, looks like the enemies are here. Make sure you hit the trap. I took a little bit of extra damage there, waited maybe a little bit longer than I should have. Now, if the light mend is falling all the way over there, it's still going to be too far to reach. But for example, if it had landed right there, we would have been able to get it. If it landed behind us at all, we'd be able to get it. And that's why I picked the extra range for the ammo mod to reach. Because sometimes they'll die just a little too far away to be helpful. Getting already weapon level 17. You can see it's showing SWAT kills because that's what's killing everything according to the game. Like I said, that's the only part of this that I see to be a glitch. They could end up nerfing this by adjusting the pathing of the zombies to make sure that they still find a way to hit you, or make it to where the trap hurts in these areas that we're using to survive. Which wouldn't be ideal, obviously. Actually, I don't even think the round flipped there. Maybe it did. I'm a little confused. I may have hit the trap too soon. And if that's true, then I'll just hit, yeah. Okay, I hit it too soon, so I'll just have to run over to the other trap, because I messed up there. But that's what you can do. The cooldown on this trap over here is going to be finished now because of how long I took. Oh, or maybe not. So in a situation like this, I am in trouble, actually, because the trap isn't ready. And now it is. So not too bad. But you can see how just little mistakes like that, which that happened because I can't hear what's going on. It's got an audio delay on how I'm recording right now, which, like I said, shouldn't be affecting you guys, but it is affecting me. I didn't hear the round flip, but I've been having to just go off what I'm seeing, so I thought it was over. No real difficulty here, though, even with those little mistakes. If you mess up in the directed mode, you can get into a tight spot where it's a little bit harder to go and be able to buy things, even though it is directed mode, so it'll be nerfed on what round you're on and stuff. This goes a lot faster, in my opinion, though, than anything that you're going to get in spawns in directed mode, not to mention it's a lot safer. You're not likely to go down, because there's just not enough opportunity for you to take damage in this method. And you can still be hurt, which is why I don't see it being nerfed as heavily. Like I said, if there's any changes that I see, it's going to be that they're going to make it so that this no longer counts as weapon kills. And then, like I said, they could make it to where the pathing of the zombies gets more intelligent here, like making it come up behind me or something over here on this ledge. That would be really annoying, but I could see that being something they do. Or even just making it so that the trap also hurts this, so that you can't just sit here as the trap goes. Those are the most likely changes that I would see from them. So you really want to utilize this method while you can, because I do expect it to be nerfed and changed going forward. Okay, looks like we got like one zombie left, maybe. Go ahead, repair up, pick up all the scrap that you need. Which, at this point, if you needed to craft Casimirs, as long as you're a high enough level, if you needed to craft a mutant injector, we've got 15k scrap, really, really easily done. And then plenty of money, even if you like completely finish a gun and go swap it out for a different one, and pack-a-punch it again, stuff like that. We're at 210,000 essence, I think, something like that. A little hard to see down there, tiny numbers, but truly ridiculous amount of resources available here. Because we're getting so much and not having to waste money on buying ammo or repurchasing perks from going down, which can still happen, but you've got plenty of resources to be able to deal with that if it does happen. I have noticed as well, I don't really see too much of it yet, but there's been some really big graphical bugs lately to where you won't see entities or you won't see particle effects of things. You can see I'm still leveling up like crazy here too. I'm pretty low level because I just prestiged. I only got this game over the holidays, so I'm still working on leveling up and grinding. Haven't made it to Prestige Master yet or anything like that because I'm still new to the game. But I'm hoping that this is helpful to other people that got the game around the same time I did, or even people coming to the game in the future that want to see some of these Easter egg guides that I'm going to be putting out, or if this exploit doesn't get patched anytime soon, or anything like that. Haven't had any Casimir grenades to drop. That's not entirely surprising because it's going to be prioritizing drops of the tactical equipment that I already have instead of trying to produce new ones. Do still see, like, here's a mutant injector. You shouldn't even need most of these things. It's worth noting, too, because it's spawning the tactical equipment. If you went the extra step of trying to get some of these invocations created before sitting in these spots, the incantations will also drop as tactical equipment for you with the Vulture Aid. So you can get a whole bunch of those dropping for you too if needed. I have already completed the Easter egg for this map before the directed mode came out. So I do still plan, even though there is a directed mode, to make a guide, because there is some trouble, some confusion with the directed mode that I've seen people complaining about. So I still think I will probably make a guide, even though there's a lot of them that already exist. And the same thing can be said for like any of these Easter eggs that I'm trying to help with too. Like, even though people have already been doing videos for them, hopefully mine will still be entertaining and clear and to really help people out that come to this game later.
That one's not getting back up.
So if this ends up being helpful for any of you, be sure to leave a comment down in the description, like, or not in the description, in the comment section below. You can like the video, subscribe, any of those things. I plan on doing more Call of Duty content, and I am still going to be making more Magic content. It's just slowed down significantly right now because of the lack of interesting things going on in Standard. Which I could still play things like Alchemy or like Brawl, things like that. I still intend to do interesting midweek Magic events. They're just not really happening right now. So for like example, this week as of recording this, the midweek Magic was a Phantom Sealed event, and I don't really see much point in uploading those because there's not really any likelihood that the cards that you guys get in those Phantom Sealeds are going to be the same or similar to what I get. So I don't think you're going to get much value out of that kind of a video. Anything that I make in a Phantom Sealed isn't something that I would run in a traditional Standard or anything. So it's just, maybe I'm wrong. If so, let me know, but I just don't think there's any real value to doing like a Phantom Sealed video. But if there are any interesting midweek Magics, I will be sure to do videos for it. Even though they aren't as popular, I know that people prefer to just see the Standard videos. And that's usually what I prefer to play. It's just so stale right now. I've not had a lot of drive to play Standard until new stuff happens. I am still working on my Mastery Pass, of course. I don't buy levels of it like some people, and there's no problem if you do, but I just don't like... I like getting as much for free out of the games as I can, especially this one, for example. Like, there is the entire Battle Pass and the Black Cell on this, but I don't buy the Black Cell, and like, for example, with this most recent update, the Squid Games DLC, or whatever you want to call it, they released a kind of purchase pass for that, and I really don't think that was a good idea. So we just lost our, what's it called? Our Dying Wish, which is really not great. And it was because all those bugs ganged up and were attacking us at once. I was trying to shoot them, I just wasn't killing them fast enough. So we're going to run down here while there's some extra zombies at the end of the round. We used Aether Shroud to get ourselves healed up and have some safety. We're going to run down here and rebuy our Quick Revive, then finish off these zombies and get back in position for what we were doing. These insects can be really obnoxious, and you gotta be really on top of them. But so back to what I was saying. The Squid Games event on here, they made like a purchase path for the Squid Games DLC. And I really don't think they should do that. In one hand, Fortnite and stuff does that sort of thing as well, so I see where they're coming from. But Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is like a $70 game. I think I didn't pay anything for it technically. I got it as a gift for the holidays, but for the winter sale on PlayStation, which is like where this was purchased from, it still was only on sale for like maybe $50 or something. That's a big price tag, in my opinion, to pay for a game, to pay for the Battle Pass, which is going to be consistently about $10 or so, and then them still trying to sell more to you on top of that with the really overpriced bundles that have like content early that normally people would have to grind for, and you know, like, that's, I don't agree with it. Fortnite gets away with it because it's a free-to-play game. What they give you for free in Fortnite is absurd compared to this game. This game costs money, has a huge price tag on it, in my opinion, and then expects you to pay more into it over and over and over, just kind of squeezing you dry. I don't really agree with that. So I don't, even on Magic, like, Magic is a really expensive game, and the main reason that I play it on Arena is because it makes it more affordable. So there's so much that you can get for free. Like right now I'm at the point on Arena to where I'm just saving up my credits now that there's about 30 days left until the next set release, and then I'm going to pour all those credits I've saved up into getting packs for the new cards and stuff. And that is so good on Arena, as opposed to like if you play physical Magic, it's really expensive. But I think, from what I've been seeing, Call of Duty has been getting a huge amount of feedback from other content creators and stuff saying that they're not going to be paying for the paid pass for the Squid Games event or any others going forward and stuff. And honestly, I really agree with that. They should not be trying to monetize it in the way that they do for a game that has such a huge price tag. It's different for Fortnite. They have the free reign to do that because they're a free-to-play game, and if someone is going to be playing Fortnite a lot, they're going to want to support it more and purchase that. Even content creators for this game are saying you're going too far. But that being said, even if this game was free-to-play like Fortnite, well, I mean, I have purchased stuff on Fortnite. I play it as well with my wife. It's a lot of fun. It's actually the first game we ever played together when we just started talking to each other because it had crossplay. So that was pretty funny. When we first started talking to each other before even meeting in person, we lived pretty far away from each other and didn't like travel or meet in person. So what we did is she had an Xbox and I had a PlayStation, and Fortnite had crossplay. So we played Fortnite together, essentially as the first time we were meeting each other. So that was a lot of fun. So that's why I like Fortnite. But I can sit and play Fortnite and get a lot of value out of it, totally for free, so I don't have trouble tossing it money here or there for a battle pass, though you don't need to. You can buy one battle pass and absolutely be self-sufficient to get the next one totally for free. And you can, to an extent, do that with Call of Duty as well. For example, the battle pass that I have right now on here, I only paid probably $2 for it because I had remaining currency from when I played Modern Warfare 2. Because I didn't even play or buy Modern Warfare 3 at all. But that being said, I just feel better about tossing money to Fortnite with the huge expanse of a game that it is, not even going into creator-made content, totally for free than I do Call of Duty, which is already charging me like $70 just to buy the game, and then wants to charge me another $10 for a battle pass, and then another $20 for the Black Cell, and then another $10 for the Squid Game Premium Pass. It's like, it's just too much. It's just too much for a game that isn't initially free to play, in my opinion. And I have heard that opinion echoed by other content creators up to this point as well, so I don't think it's super crazy for me to be saying that, you know, super extreme for me to have that opinion. We should be getting pretty close at this point to finishing up the Purple Tiger, or whatever it's called, Purple Stripe Camo. We've already gotten the whiteout and stuff, so we're just finishing off getting the extremely high number of kills now for that last camo. We could potentially get one more with the armored zombies that we need from this. I don't know if I care. I mean, that would probably only be like one more round, or maybe two, honestly. So I'll probably go for it. But we can't complete one of them. I don't even remember what it was, but there was one, I think it was maybe an ammo mod challenge or something like that I just can't do while doing this method. Okay, so the trap is off. We can finish up around here. Got our weapon already up to 23, just got the Purple Tiger that I mentioned. I think I'll run one more, or well, I'll run until we get an Exfil. So if that's on the next round, I'll go ahead and go. If it's not, then we'll go ahead and go until the Exfil. I do still suggest going for the Exfil whenever you're doing this, because it will get you more XP towards your player XP. So it's still really worth doing. Waited too long again there, so that's my bad. I was waiting to see if any Exfil or anything was going to pop up, or if it was going to be a bug round, but that took a little too long to activate the trap. No big deal, though. It's pretty lenient, as you can see. A lot of room for error. That's really why I say this method is so good compared to any others, is you've got so much room for error. It's really hard to mess this up. So that's why I thought it would be such a benefit to share this, is it's so efficient, it's so user-friendly. There's a lot of room for user error that doesn't necessarily come back to bite you as bad. Okay. Looks like got maybe the last zombie here. No trouble there. Exfil's available, so I'm going to go ahead and exfil now. We didn't get that other camo, but that's fine. No big deal there. I have a mutant injector. I do recommend having a chopper gunner or a mutant injector for any exfil that you do. It's going to make it a lot easier. I'll go ahead and show the exfil really quickly. It does essentially set off a nuke when you do an exfil to kill all the things that are going to be in your way. They do start spawning in again on this map, at least, like around the time you get to this wall. So I'm probably going to start running into enemies really soon. Okay, didn't look like it. But, so that's normally the case. And I would just say, kill the zombies here pretty passively until this amalgam shows up. And then once it shows up, you want to use your injector. And that's about the perfect time to do that. We're down to 14 enemies left. You can see my crown on the Mangler, which is really funny, from the rat Easter egg that we did. Okay, and we've got 3 enemies left. Not too bad. There's one. Who's left? Okay, got a spider. One more. Looks like they're right over here. Yep. And then you don't even have to exit the mutant injector. You can just hit square and extract. This is really funny. It's using my sword for some reason. There you go. So I will show at the end here how much XP I get, how many levels I get. You can see that overall whole match getting up to round 56 was about an hour and a half in length, and you can cut that down by using the Rampage Inducer. And then I'll go ahead here and let you see the match XP roll out before ending off the video. And you can go farther than I did. I only went to 56 because we finished up what I was doing with the gun there. But you can go pretty much as far as you want. I've only gone up to 101 with this yet, and it does start getting a little bit more challenging at that point. But you could potentially go as far as you want doing this. This is a really good method. So we got a significant amount of XP, got leveled up to 28. Yeah, lots of these medals, which are good for XP, and you can pop your double XP consumables to make this go even faster, get your weapon leveled faster, all sorts of things like that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for joining me, especially if you made it this far, and I'll be making more content of this, so hopefully you guys like it.